So the whole time I was doing today's painting, I was thinking of a soundtrack from a movie called Friends, way before there was a TV show called Friends. And the soundtrack is from Elton John, and the songs on the album are from Elton John and Bernie Taupin. And there's a line on the album, a spoken line. This is a soundtrack from a movie, so I'm assuming that the voice that you hear on that soundtrack is the actor. And he recites a poem, and the poem is called "I Meant to Do My Work Today." And all these years, I thought I was giving credit to Elton John or Bernie Taupin specifically for the words. So it's actually written by Richard Le Gallienne. Richard Le Gallienne. He lived from 1866 to 1947. I'm reading off my computer screen. He was born in Liverpool, England. He was widely published, but tended to be more of a romantic than his counterparts. That's what it says on the website called yourdailypoem.com. So I want to read to you the line that hit me so profoundly when I was a kid, when I was a young teenager. And here's the line. "I meant to do my work today, but a brown bird..." Well, this is not just the line. This is pretty much the whole poem, okay? "I meant to do my work today, but a brown bird sang in the apple tree, and a butterfly flitted across the field, and all the leaves were calling me. And the wind went sighing over the land, tossing the grasses to and fro. And a rainbow held out its shining hand. So what could I do but laugh and go?" I just really struck me. It's like, of course, why do we put so much weight on ourselves from the world around us when there's a whole beautiful world? Just go out there, just sit or stroll or even go fishing, do something out there. Well, a butterfly flitted across the field is what I did today in the painting. So hopefully you like it. It's mixed media. I used pen and ink for the black, and I used watercolor for the colors. But that song the music from that album was in my head the whole time I was painting this. So, and since I do this beginning after I'm done painting, obviously, I already know that you're going to hear me give wrong credit to that poem. It wasn't Bernie Taupin who wrote the poem, although Bernie is a great lyricist, great poet. But that particular poem is from Richard Le Gallienne. He moved to the United States in 1903. He wanted to breathe new life into his writing career, but his continued preference for sentimental styling kept him out of sync of American tastes. Yeah, he was a romantic. He moved to Paris in 1927, began writing a weekly column for the New York Sun. Isn't that weird? He went to Paris to write for the New York Sun. A compilation of some of his columns won the award for best book about France by a foreigner in the course of his life. Le Gallienne wrote nearly 90 books and innumerable articles. So he's got a French name, Le Gallienne. Seems French to me. All right, enough of that. Hopefully you like the little background there. But anyway, it's this picture that I'm going to show you how I did today. And I don't know, there's a whole lot of tutorial in this, but just maybe I'm being a romantic in this one. All right, let's go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in or clicking or whatever we do in today's world. Today, I'm going to do a butterfly. I think a butterfly is a great study. You can do so much with a butterfly, and I want to try to do something a little exaggerated. I hope I can pull it off. So the idea is to first, of course, sketch the butterfly. So I have a reasonable area to work in, so I know what I'm doing here. And just try to get it down there. Just little openings in the wings right there. And we'll add color, and it's when I add the color that I want to go for the exaggerated part of this, I think. So I don't know what kind of butterfly this is. I'm not a expert on butterflies. But I am looking at a reference photo online that I found on the website called Unsplash. So that's where I got the reference photo from. It almost looks like a butterfly must have 4 wings, right? It looks like 1, 2, 3, and there's probably one over there too. So I meant to do my work today, but a butterfly flew past me or something like that. Are you old enough to remember? I know you know the TV show Friends, but do you remember a movie called Friends? A movie that I don't know that it was a well-received movie, but the soundtrack was from Elton John and Bernie Taupin. Well, Elton John and Bernie wrote the songs and Elton performed them. And the soundtrack was beautiful. Early on in Elton John's career, he had a style of writing, and Bernie had a style of writing. Between the two of them, their style of writing was just so beautiful. I heard an interview one time with Bernie, who was referring to the song called Your Song, and he said it was what was the word he used? Oh gosh, I can't remember what word he used. But, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I can't remember the word. But anyway, in the movie Friends, again, not the TV show, but the movie, in the movie Friends, they have a song, and it says, well, they have a song, but they have some dialogue on the soundtrack, is what I want to say. And on the soundtrack, one of the actors says, I meant to do my work today, but a butterfly flew past my window, or something to that effect. So, I think I made that. Is that okay? Did I make him too big? I think I made him a little too big. Let me make the body of the butterfly a little smaller. I think I went a little bit too large on him. So anyway, I always like that soundtrack, and so that's what I'm thinking about right now. The song called Friends. The theme song is so good. I don't know. It is to me anyway. It was something I liked a lot when it came out. And so, the one thing about butterflies is you can kind of take liberties with them. You don't have to draw them anatomically correct exactly. But I think this needs to be more this way, and this needs to be up here more. Yeah. Isn't it incredible how butterflies happen? They start out as caterpillars, like worms, basically, furry worms. I think it's incredible. So these flowers that this butterfly is on are interesting in their own right. They have lots of little things poking out of here. I'm going to have to be very careful. with the watercolor to make sure I leave a lot of white right there. Just the little things happening here, and they'll have these pokey things here. Little branches. Again, it might end up with I need to use gouache to use some opaque colors, but right now I just want to sketch everything in. So there's our butterfly. I think you can see it, right? All right, so now let's just add some color to this. I'm going to try to find a good color. That looks like a nice purple color right there. And I'll spread it around in the background. Give an out of focus look to the background. Yeah, all different shades of purple. So in this case, I did not wet the paper first. I probably could have, maybe I even should have, but I didn't. So I'm just brushing it on. The water will soak in. That's the key to, I think, the watercolor look, is to have the water already in the paper. But I just didn't do it this time. So, but it's okay because the water's there. It'll soak in. And I'm putting it on so lightly that it should be okay. And then when it dries, I'm going to add some ink to the darker areas. So this is kind of what do you call it? A mixed media painting, using ink and watercolor at the same time. Now it's right around here that I gotta start thinking about some of these areas that have a lot of white in them. I'll just spread the water around as much as I can. There we go. It's a very nice look, isn't it? The way watercolor kind of just falls into place. So it's Sunday, by the way, right now. I can hear Robin already woke up, so I know she's getting ready for church. I will be going with her. It's only 6:16, so I don't think we have to leave until about... let me think. What time do we have to leave? I think we have to leave like 8 something, so just have to remember again. Well, I picked a relatively easy topic today, so I hope it turns out that this is easy. Yeah, just get this purple everywhere. Just get it everywhere. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe a little bit richer down here, some undefined areas in the background. Just some blotches. we'll come back to that. Again, I might need to use the gouache to add some light little streaks. In fact, that's probably not a bad plan. That's a good plan, I think. So I'll go ahead and add some color there. Well, I hope it comes out okay. Okay. Now I gotta let it dry. I'll speed up the process a little bit with my dryer, my Pro Heater dryer. I mostly want it to be dry on the butterfly itself. That is such a very, very, very strong hot heater that I wouldn't use it too much, too close. It would burn a hole in it. Alright, so now I want to do some ink on this butterfly. I got this paper still wet over there. Alright, so first let's get his eye, because his eye is actually an eye. It looks like an eye. That looks good. And we got these little antennas here. And then this one here. Gives little legs. And we get this. Got a very dark line here. Goes all the way to the top. It's amazing the designs on birds and butterflies and all creatures, really. So I'm not going to color it all in with the ink. I want to kind of give a sharp, defined area, like a border. And hopefully it works. Because once the ink is on the paper, there's not a whole lot I can do to undo it. And then hopefully the colors will all work with the ink. Let me go ahead and add some more color here. I don't really want to do cross-hatching or pointillism. I really would rather the watercolor take care of the shading. But I want these defined black lines here. And it looks like it has almost like a a double bubble here that comes across each piece of the butterfly. Almost like two bubbles that come together at each point along the wing. It's kind of cool looking, isn't it? And this wing has a similar look. It's a very cool looking defined line here. And lots of designs on here. Make sure we get them all. Here too, we got these. And then of course this whole thing gets dark. Before people figured out how to fly in airplanes, they must have, I know, well, we all know this, right? They all studied how the animals fly, the birds and the butterflies. this side over here. Looks like we've got some lines that extend all the way from here. All of these have these designs here. And they're all pretty thick over here. Yeah, this is a lot of drawing on this one. The painting happens afterwards. It's easier to get the ink in there first. It looks like there's a couple of different areas here. And down here. I wonder if butterflies are like fingerprints. I wonder if they all have a different design, because if I'm probably not getting this one exactly scientifically accurate, but I think it's okay. Alright, I think that's the whole butterfly. Now it's time to add the color. Now, remember when I said I wanted to exaggerate it a little bit? Well, I do. I'll use my little brush here. Let's see which colors we want to use. I think I'll use a lot of water here. I think I'm going to make it very watercolor-ish. And I want to exaggerate, as I said. Just let these watercolors kind of do their own thing here. Let the yellows and the purples and the reds kind of all come together. Just get the watercolors to kind of do the watercolor thing. Now let's take these purple that we started with. See if we can mix it with some white, see if we can lighten it up a bit. Get a lot of white in there. So you see what I mean when I said I was going to exaggerate the colors a little bit. I want this one to be a little bit more defined because it's the closer one. Let the butterfly kind of dry, and we'll fix up some of these things that bled into the background. It's very impressionistic, I think. right now, which is okay. I love Impressionism anyway. It's kind of cool to keep the purple like that. See if I can get some of this, some red mixed in there. Who knows where that butterfly is? He's flying someplace where there's a lot of color, that's all I know. I'll try to, as for the composition, the sake of the composition, I'll try to darken it a little bit and spread it around the dark and the light. Give it the illusion of out of focus flowers. Yeah, so your mind works. Yeah, I think for the sake of the composition. I have to make it a little bit darker, let it gradually get lighter up to the right corner. And then I can add some light colors, I think, with the gouache. Okay, let's get some of that white. Get a little bit of white gouache. Put a little bit on the paper here. Don't need much. Don't need much. They're very, very thin. Very thin. They're very, very thin. Little lines of the flower that are reaching up to the butterfly, or that the butterfly is landing on. I think these little white lines add a lot to it. I guess I could have used masking paint. I don't have any though, so it's a good excuse not to use it. Give a little white edge here. Get a little bit of a glow. A little bit of a bottom lit to the butterfly. I'm just experimenting now to see if I like a little bit of white in the butterfly wings. I don't think we need it on those back ones. I feel like that'll be they're too far away to really see that. So you know what? I think I'm done. A little bit more white to him. Well, for what it's worth, there's the butterfly. Let me mess with the background a lot. Let me spread it out. I think I kind of like the purple theme in this one. thing good about doing that in ink is it stays put. I don't have to worry about messing with that part. Alright, I think I'll call it done. Alright, so here it is. Alright, see you later.